well, back in 1915 when it was banned, I read that a lot of the reason for that was also the Catholic Church was pressing the government to ban Bacanora because people got unruly with it and unruly behavior. But in Sonoran tradition, it was used by the natives in order to make medicine.
So let's go a little bit behind the label. Kilinga Bacanora was inspired by the women in your family. Tell us about that.
Especially mom. Well, she's told me that I have the sort of the same character as she does. So sometimes we love each other to death, but sometimes we sort of clash as well. But it's I mean, all families do that, I guess. But mom's a like a driving force for me. She's been that since I can remember. I always say, Dad told me how to be a man, and then Mom taught me how to be a good person.
That's awesome.
And this is sort of a homage, is it?
Yes,
Like
an homage.
paying tribute to her. And then, well, it's I'm the only guy in the family. Well, Dad and me, but of my siblings, I have three sisters, and we all get along great. We live in the same town. We talk to each other like 2 3 times a week. We get together to have lunch once a week. Like the whole
Awesome.
family, we're like 16. We all get together, see each other, we all each other's business, and so it was only natural that I have a great respect for them, and I this is no there's none better way to um to say thank you than this, I think.
Yeah. Cheers. Yes.
And yeah, it's
Yes.
in Kilinga is my mother's nickname. So
Okay.
that's where the homage to her is was actually printed on the front of the freaking thing right there. And
That is
yeah,
awesome.
it comes from Kelinda when she was little. They would people that went to my great grandmother's house, well, my grandmother's house, they would say, "Oh, qué linda niña." Y qué linda. And somebody asked her name once, and she said Kilinga. She mispronounced the Kelinda. So that stuck. And now in town, everybody knows her by her nickname, Kilinga. And nobody knows that her name is Luz del Carmen, or probably that and us. That's it. Everybody calls her Kilinga. And when she'll sign a note or something, she'll write Kilinga rather than her name. So it's a sort of a fun little story there,
That
how the name came about to be.
that is awesome. Well, you're definitely paying tribute in the best way. This is amazing. What's next? I know you said you're tweaking recipes, but I don't know. Are there high proof bacanoras? Like what's going to be your next thing?
Well, the nom that sort of rules Bacanora, that writes the rules for Bacanora, says that it can be. Can't remember the lower end of it, but I think it's 35% alcohol per volume, and then the upper is 55, if I recall correctly. Um, I mean, it can totally be done, but if I ever do it, I would like to do it and deliver a very elegant expression. Um, and I don't know if I would go very high on the proof because there's people that argue that have their arguments that say that it's purity in the alcohol. Well, I'm not trying to produce a pure spirit. I want it to be a great experience. And if I can ever achieve those two, that it'll be palatable, then yet that you'll be able to take a sip without having your face contoured. I'll definitely put it out there and see how people like it. But but I do fool around with those kinds of things. Also, there is a um, very traditional way of making bacanora with different fruits and herbs and roots that grow here in the desert. Bacanora was used in traditional medicine before. Well, back in 1915 when it was banned, I read that a lot of the reason for that was also the Catholic Church was pressing the government to ban Bacanora because people got unruly with it and unruly behavior. But in Sonoran tradition, it was used by the natives in order to make medicine. They would infuse it with roots and herbs in order to cure different illnesses. And in some roots and herbs can be very bitter, so they grabbed also these sweet fruits and things in the desert. They would infuse them in there as well in order to sort of improve the flavor of that medicine. And then I guess they enjoyed that medicine a lot, and then the church didn't like it, the government didn't like it.
I love the every spirit type has its own medicinal story. And we don't talk about that part enough. They just came out here where, oh, if you drink alcohol, it's going to raise your risk of cancer. And I'm like, I grew up with hot toddies, when we were sick.
Mm-hmm.
Those things work. Now to flip it all, it's like, is that really true when you know the history of how it was so medicinal in the beginning and how monks brought a lot of this to us?
It's alcohol is it's going to sound probably weird, but it's essentially a solvent. It's a great solvent. Water is a solvent. It's a universal solvent. And it's alcohol has been used. It's been used in order to throughout history to retrieve to get some the medicinal aspects of different roots and herbs in order to make traditional medicines throughout the world, not only here. And it's I think that I read somewhere that's where the word spirits or bebida espirituosa comes from, because you were able to retrieve the very spirit of the wine. And that spirit retrieves the spirit of the roots and the herbs and the leaves and flowers that were used in order to make a remedy or a medicine. And so it sort of retrieves that and mixes it, and then you can have it in a way that it delivers to your system, and it sort of delivers it in a very direct way. So it's been done for several hundreds of years, if not thousands, and it's to have it play out like it's gonna give you cancer. Well, stress gives you cancer too, and this deals with it very well. So cheers.
Cheers. No, I agree. There's so many other things we could be labeling that cause cancer than alcohol.
Yeah, well, they just came up with that, I guess, and
Mhm.
it's always people looking for different ways of attracting attention, I guess. I don't know where
Yeah.
they came from with that, but somebody must have done a study or something like that. But
So
nowadays, everything gives you cancer.
true. So I'm on like my third or fourth sip of the reposado. I feel like I'm getting coffee or chocolate notes in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's part of the charring of the barrel and the agave and the roasting process as well combined. In order to, I forgot to mention with the blanco, I roasted for a longer period of time at lower temperatures. So it's like when you barbecue at a low and slow. In barbecues they have like a rule: it's hot and fast or low and slow. It's
Mhm.
different styles of barbecuing, and this is like a lower temperature, slower roast, and those a lot of those when those sugars are during the roasting process, some of them will get caramelized, and that's when you get all those toffee coffee sort of chocolatey when that caramelization works in with the vanilla, and then the sort of the charcoal with the char in the barrel and everything, that'll give you sort of that coffee chocolate hue to it. and it's really amazing how different, very different. They're very different ingredients per se, and then you combine them a certain way that'll give you something that you already know. But they're like, in essence, they're far from it. Part of the fun of this is like a to me it's so sort of like a play set. I get to experiment and work my way around things, and it's great. It's great. I have a lot of fun making this, and it's part of what I want to reflect to people that drink it. That it's a very fun. Well, at least the guy, the person that makes it, it's having fun doing it.
No, yeah, you've had a lot of fun because this is. I mean, if it gets better than this, please send me a send me the updated version because this is amazing.
Will do.
No, this has been a fun learning experience, and yeah, this is really neat. I again had never heard of Bacanora like till last week, and so it's
It's
fun.
a fairly unknown agave spirits variant, but it's a very how to word this is a very um, I I can't find the exact word, but it's something that is one of the expressions that is complex in a good way. I mean, it has its sort of corners and everything, but it in its complexity, but it's um it's a good complexity. It's not off-putting. I've had different agave distillates that are funky, cheesy, smoky. I remember one that I tasted that sort of smells like yogurt, and I
Mm,
mean, it's probably. I mean, I don't particularly like yogurt. I like it probably in lamb, on lamb or something like that, but I don't have it in breakfast or anything like that. It's that lactic acidity to it is
mhm,
probably not my thing. I love cheese though, and different kinds of cheeses that sort of lean to the yogurt profile, but
mhm.
yogurt itself is sort of not my thing. I don't dislike it, but I don't particularly go look for it and buy it in the store. But it's probably that's why I don't particularly enjoy those expressions. But there's a lot of things there out there that are very interesting. It's interesting to try them.
Yeah.
You'll try them once or twice and say, "Oh yeah, I already know this." But are you gonna go back and pour yourself a glass when you're home?
Mhm.
I don't know. Probably there's people with different tastes. I respect them, but I wouldn't.
I mean,
I
I will
wouldn't.
definitely.
I would rather have something on this side of the spectrum. That
Yeah.
this is what I enjoy, and it started as a hobby. So the hobby was very personal to me, and then that's why I'm very fond of this, and I enjoy it so much, and I take it so personal.
Well, thank you for sharing your hobby because it is very delicious. Where can we find Kalinga Bacanora?
In KilingaBacanora.com has an online store that you can get them there and deliver to your home. I was handed here a list. You're in Oklahoma, you said, right? I
Yeah, you may not
can't
be here
remember.
yet.
Can't remember if we were in Oklahoma, but I've been handed a list of New York places,
Okay.
and it's Trinity Place, Citrico, Hudson Hound. Citrico has really good food as well. The Hudson Hound does too. Trinity Place has been there too. It's great. It's very interesting to be there. And Tigre, Freehand Hotel, that's fun. Rosemary's, the peasant, not the pheasant's the bird, right? The peasant and Smith and Mills.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Have you ever been to any of those?
I have not. So that will be on my travel list.
They're fun, and
Okay.
there are lots, and there are a lot of fun people that run them too.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh yeah, definitely,
I love
definitely,
places
and
like that.
I've enjoyed my time there.
Okay. Well, this has been fun. Thank you for coming on our show. Kalinga Bacanora is amazing. This has been a great experience to try something new, to see what else is out there. Because there's over 200 agave species, and
Oh
so
yeah,
to
Uh,
yeah.
and they're all I don't know they're all used for a certain purpose, but A lot of them produce the spirits. They produce food. They're used or used to be used to build housing and clothing and traditional in the traditional ways where the natives lived. They made clothes, food, the drink, and also they built their homes with the quiotes, you know. So they were
Oh
the
wow.
pillars for the homes, and yeah, it's used. It was used throughout Mexico for a lot of different purposes. And
So
also
it's
they
very
have
sustainable.
you get the worms, the maguey
Yeah.
larvae, and then you cook them. I wasn't into that. I was sort of iffy about trying that, but I've tried them and they're fantastic. They're really tasty. And once you get past the whole weirdness of how they look, they taste amazing. And also those escamoles, the critters, the eggs.
Okay.
Um, when you have them with well, usually they serve them here with butter, and you can make tacos out of anything. But they the way they serve them and they prepare them, they sort of taste like almonds. They have that
Really?
nutty aspect to them, and they're really delicate and very nice. I really enjoy them.
That's really cool. I've heard of the worm, but not the ants. That's new.
Yeah, the those ant eggs are something out of this world. They're very tasty, and they're a seasonal dish. But the worms, I don't think if I can't remember if they're in season all the time. But here in Sonora we don't get them. I've looked
Hmm.
for them, but we don't get them. It's
Okay.
different critters, I guess, in the southern part of Mexico that go through that cycle and taste that good. But I haven't found anything appetizing in between all the critters that we have here.
Okay, so we'll have to do a pairing and get some of the worms and some of the ant eggs.
Definitely, it's really good. And it's more of a south southeastern Mexico thing
Okay.
with the worms and the ant eggs and all that, and they eat the crickets and all bunch of stuff there. But they prepare them very well, so it's good eating. Here
Hey,
in Sonora, we're more of steak and big steak and beef sort of people, and also we're big in seafood as well.
I will definitely have to visit. That sounds amazing.
You should. We have great food here, and it's a lot of it is tied to the ranching lifestyle that tradition in different families that built the state, built it on the back of a horse and looking after their livestock.
That's really cool. Sounds like some similarities to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I hope you like steaks too.
Love them. Just had some last night, actually.
Congratulations! I had some steak last night too.
It is a good staple. We love to try it. We've gotten so well at cooking steak, it's hard to go out to eat
That happened to me too.
it.
I went out last night to a very wonderful place that do a great job, but when I cook them at home, I get to pick the steak itself with the
Yep.
marbling and the thickness of it and everything, and then nowadays you can even pick the breed of the animal you're gonna get very different aspects to them, and
Yep.
you get to choose and then to cook them the way you want them, exactly the way you want them, and then you pair them with whatever you want. You should pair a steak with bacanora, especially a sort of a fattier cut, which
Okay.
is more rich. You'll be amazed how that bacanora pairs with a steak, with a fatty steak, with a more rich meals, and it'll do the job like a dry wine, like a drier wine. When you have heavy foods and you have a drier wine, it sort of cleans your palate and helps you with the digestion, and then leaves your palate ready for the next bite.
I will do that tonight.
You should. You very well should.
Well, thanks again for being here. How we like to end things, we always tell people to drink to remember, not to forget. So cheers.
I love that. Always drink to remember.
Yes, I've had lots of different experiences with different people and alcohol. And if you're not trying to experience it, then you're not going to have a good time or a good morning the next day.
That's the whole point. I mean, I've done my fair share of getting drunk,
Mm-hmm.
but
Same.
to me, it's more for the experience of having it, the taste, and sort of where those memories take me as well.
Yes,
And it's a whole experience to have it. It's a beautiful experience, and if it starts that beautiful, why ruining it with overdoing it?
exactly.
It's just something that I really enjoy, and everybody should enjoy their own thing.
That's right.